Every day we ask police, fire, other first responders to go into dangerous environments, effectively blind. A couple of years ago, an officer from a department we work with was doing a house search, and girlfriend said the guy wasn't there, suspect wasn't there, house search seemed clear, but he had this nagging feeling about the attic, and so he grabbed a ladder, started to pop up. As he came up, his eyes adjusting to the darkness, guy came out from hiding, shot him 3 times in the face. And we have first responders going into these kind of dangerous environments every single day, thousands of times a year. And you might say, well, why didn't that officer use a robot or a drone or any of these cool things I see in the movies? And the reality is that those systems are too expensive and way too hard to use to really ever make it to the front lines. Over the last 4 years, our team out of the Harvard Innovation Lab has been working directly with first responders to create this, a throwable omnidirectional camera, the Bounce Imaging Explorer, that a user can toss into a space and get back real-time, 360 in all direction views of what's going on to their smartphone, to a VR headset, or over the cloud, to the cloud over 4G. And what enables this technology is image processing methods that let us take multiple camera feeds and stitch them into a single panorama about 200 times faster than traditional methods. And that's essential for first responders. But it also, we think, has some really cool applications in the consumer space, as you can see behind us. Through the generosity of Verizon, we were just awarded the $1 million Verizon Powerful Answers Award. And we're in paid deployments with police departments around the country. We're looking for partners to help us get these devices into more first responders' hands sooner. And we're looking to talk to folks in the VR content space to see if we can help solve some of their problems on the processing side. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen and to think about the issues our first responders face as they look out for us every day. Thank you.
Great. Well done. OK, feedback for Bounce Imaging.
So the government procurement process can also often be really long and really difficult to navigate.
Yep.
What's your average time for you to navigate that process, and how have you kind of tried to hack that?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and it does vary based on department. One of the ways to hack it is through pricing. There are certain limits under which, and you'll notice that our pricing is right underneath those limits.
That's smart.
And that helps get the initial units in, and then you can build the relationship.
OK,
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, this certainly beats rats and minefields. Do you think, I assume that you've tested this thus far.
Yeah.
Does it ever get mistaken for anything other than a 360 video ball?
Yeah, I mean, usually when they're going into these environments, it's already kind of heightened, so people are looking out for things. That actually has a benefit, because if someone's looking at a ball going by and not really knowing what it is, they're not looking at the door where the officer's probably going to be entering through.
Right.
But we haven't really heard too much from the suspect's point of view so far. It's mostly from the officers.
Well, yeah, I don't think you care all that much. Yeah, I was going to ask, so I mean, it seems like a pretty cool consumer device as well. So I have 2 questions. What is your target price point? And then can you control it at all, or is it just you roll it in and hope?
Yeah.
Go to work with Sphero, right? And then you're all set.
Yeah. So I'll take them in sequence. First, so for these models, they're ruggedized to take 26 drops onto concrete, go through windows, and a lot of things that add a lot of cost to this unit. For a consumer unit, which we're looking at, it would be in the $400 or $500 range.
Oh.
Yeah. But for these devices that are for law enforcement, they start at about $1,500 because they've got to take some pretty serious beatings. They've got to put a bunch of near-infrared light into the room, that kind of stuff. And then your second question was, and I lost it.
Can you control it? So if it's just like...
Yeah, no, so we intentionally have not done that, and the reason for it is that when we've talked to officers, what they're most concerned about is keeping their focus on the situation and limiting how much they have to do. So if you can imagine you've got 2 or 3 officers outside the door, you can't have 33% of your officer power figuring out how to drive something around. So we've left that out. We are looking at some ways to control it, but we'll only do it if it's very intuitive. So for example,
OK, let's hear it for Bounce Imaging. Well done. And next.